chaotic, not creative. Chaotic, damn it. Hey yo, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be discussing critique partners. What are they? Who are they? Where are they? Why are they? A critique partner is a fellow writer who reads your draft and offers constructive criticism. They might help with character voice, dialogue, plot development, just whatever they're skilled in that you might need help with. Like with any other partnership, this should be a two-way street. So you should also be reading their draft and offering constructive criticism on whatever your strengths are to help improve their manuscript. Not all critique partners are created equally. Some critique partners can help improve character voice. Other critique partners could help smooth out that plot development that's been a little bumpy. It's okay to have multiple critique partners. We just have to be careful not to overload ourselves. It's also important to find a critique partner within the same writing skill range as we are. Otherwise, one person's getting a lot more help out of this partnership than the other person. Personally, I like to recruit my critique partners in the outlining phase. I like to recruit them that early because that's when I'm building the foundation of my story. So that's the earliest that anybody's going to be able to point out, hey Sam, that makes no fucking sense. If I'm gonna have cracks, I like to fill them in as soon as possible. However, there's no rule on when to go looking for a critique partner. I know some people who wait until their draft has been started. I know a few other people who wait until their first draft is finished before they go looking. That said, if you do plan on having a critique partner, the general rule of thumb is for them to read and critique the entire manuscript before the beta reading phase. Because otherwise, you just got some inefficient editing going on. I want to be very, very real with y'all. I love having critique partners, which I will go more into later. But it has been a very long road to find the right ones. I have had critique partners who basically took my scene and made it an entirely different scene. I'm not even exaggerating. The way I wrote the scene, we've got two MCs, Lycan Girl, Superpower Boy. Lycan Girl's fighting off a lizard monster. Superpower Boy's beat the shit up, eyes swollen, he can barely see what's going on. She kicks the lizard thing's ass, he's on the verge of passing out. She goes to carry him away. It's all very tense, they're very suspicious of each other, but all she knows is he's injured and was trying to protect people, so she's trying to get him help. Alright? So my critique partner's rewrite of the scene, she's fighting the giant lizard thing, and now it bleeds acid blood. The fight kind of goes similarly, except there's a lot more gore, acid blood dripping on the werewolf girl, who's, I guess, got fur that's acid proof because she's just fine despite acid being dripped on her. Choices. Not my choices, but choices were made. Anyway, and then at the end of the fight, the Superpower Boy no longer has the shit beat out of him and on the verge of passing out. Now he's just like got bruises and cuts all over him. And they still kind of stare at each other a little tense, but like quickly get over that as she starts, sniffing him and acting like a little puppy, and then starts nuzzling his chin, and he starts giggling and petting her like she's Lassie and he just found her. And I'm like, you've completely changed the character dynamic and just everything that happened in the scene. Also acid blood. So that was, and when you're new, that was one of my first critique partners too. So I'm just sitting there like, is it me? I don't think it's me. I don't feel like this is an improvement because you've completely changed two of my characters' personalities. So it's no. It's just so much no. Then there are critique partners who get defensive when I ask for clarity about a critique. If a critique is not obviously right or wrong to me, I need to understand where the critique is coming from to decide if I agree with it or not. Just because I either don't agree with a critique or understand a critique doesn't mean that I automatically assume that critique is wrong, but I don't assume that critique is right either. So I'll shoot my CP a DM and be like, hey, so you said this, could you explain? Sometimes this would make people very defensive, so instead of actually discussing what the problem is, they would just double down on the fact that they think there is a problem. And this is very frustrating to me because I'm like, I just want to understand what the issue may or may not be in my writing. I can't fix it if I don't know what it is. I also need to make sure that there's actually a problem to fix and that the other person just didn't miss something, which happens on occasion. I do have some stories about critiquing other people's work. However, I don't feel it polite or pertinent to discuss that in this video. I'm only bringing it up to, let other people know that if you're not thoroughly loving or enjoying your critique partner's manuscript, been there. You're not alone. I feel you. Broken up with a few sweet peas in my name. Alright, so on the flip side of that, I want to show some amazing experiences I've had with critique partners because I love you, you wonderful bastards. So anyway, on to the next part of the video. I'm just kidding. One of my favorite examples that I can think of is when I heard this K-pop song, and it has a few English lyrics, but overall I hadn't yet looked up the translation, so I didn't know what the whole song was about. But it's just something about the way that it was sung and the beat and everything, and I was just like, oh god, I cannot explain it, but this is Nova. And I sent it to 2 of my CPs and I was like, is it just me? But this song, it embodies Nova. And their answer was, okay, but no, it is her. And it felt so good to have that moment where we just all spent, I think, like 10 to 15 minutes just being like, yes, it's Nova, this song is her. Just everything about it. And it's so fun and nice to have a few other people who know my characters that well, but it's just so nice, so fun. I love it. Another time, I finally figured out how I wanted to handle Liam's character arc, but I also had laundry to do. So contacted one of my CPs who was free. We started up a Discord call, and while I folded up laundry, I told him about Liam's character arc from beginning to end, all of the major plot beats, and how it would intertwine with the main plot overall. What I really enjoyed about this was once I finished, my CP then asked questions about the character arc and the character motivations and plans that I hadn't addressed, that allowed me to think even deeper about parts that I kind of missed or didn't think that deeply on yet, which might have saved me some kinks in the future. It's very nice to have somebody looking out for you like that. Again, it's a two-way street, and I genuinely like being there during the whole process. I love the thought dump phase where it's just a mess of thoughts and ideas and quotes. I like seeing that organized and turned into a string of actual plot where things are kept and things are thrown away, where some things are shifted a bit to try to still work. I like seeing the outline become an actual draft, and then I like going through that draft and helping to improve that draft. One of my CPs is on their 4th draft of their manuscript right now, and it's so much better than the first one was. They have improved in terms of their writing skills so much, and I'm so proud, and I have loved being part of their writing journey so much. Do I recommend finding critique partners? Yeah, I highly recommend finding supportive critique partners. When I think of a new idea or I solve a problem that had been plaguing me, I immediately message all of my critique partners, and they get almost as excited about it as I do. So a few of them get more excited than I do, and that's a wonderful feeling. When that bitch-ass punk anxiety is all like, you're not good enough to write that war novel, my CPs are all like, you know what? Anxiety is a punk-ass bitch, and your writing rocks. And I do the exact same thing for them. And, another bonus, I really love receiving random out-of-context quotes. I don't know what's going on, but damn it, now I need to know, so they better hurry up and write those chapters so that I can have them in my email. While not all critique partnerships are like this is what I wanted out of mine, so I was very upfront about it with each and every partnership, and eventually I found other people who wanted that out of their critique partnerships too. So that's what we have, and it's so nice. It's so much nicer than when I was writing on my own. There are a lot of different places to find them. I found some of mine in Cyborg Central, which is a writing server hosted by Jenna Morassi. Hannah Lee Kidder also hosts a writing server where I have seen a lot of critique partners successfully pair up in. There are also hashtags in the Twitter and Instagram writing communities like hashtag find critique partners, hashtag looking for critique partner, hashtag critique partner. And then there's also Facebook groups dedicated to writing in general and finding critique partners. When I was looking for a critique partner, I wrote my request kind of like a dating ad. Looking for a critique partner, understanding that I'm a mom with a chaotic lifestyle and unpredictable productivity levels. Then I put relevant information about my writing, such as I write adult novels in urban fantasy and regular fantasy, also paranormal fiction, and trigger warnings that currently apply to my whims. It may take a while. Like I said, I traveled a very long road to find my current critique partners, but in my humble opinion, it is so worth it. What if we get a critique partner who just doesn't work for us? Or we realize that our skill levels are just too far apart? Or, I don't know, we could have a lot of reasons for why this critique ship is just not working out. I get all the way here and finally think of a word for it. It's simple. Just break up with them. Shoot them a polite message saying that you don't want to continue with the partnership anymore. You can explain why or not. It doesn't do anybody any good to continue in a writing relationship where you just dread every time you have to open their chapters. Remember folks, if you're curious about whether or not I can write, you can check out my website right here. I got samples. Also, you can follow my social media at Samantha L. Nasset. I've got Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram. Pretty sure that's all of them. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this video. Maybe ring-a-ding that bell. Also, you can check out other videos here, I think. Alright, that's all I got for you today. Please enjoy the outtakes. Bye! See you next week. I had a new idea last week for a novel. So, while I was working on the thought dump, my CPs that were online got the fuck spammed out of them. Poor bastards just trying to live their life, and I'm over here like, have a scene! Have another scene! Here's some dialogue! I'm not even gonna write this novel for like 5 years or more, but have it anyway. Read this now, bitch! Why is this so hard for me to say? Why is this so hard for me to say? And then I'm just, did you read the scene? It doesn't feel like you read the scene. Because they have two different personalities. Why is there acid blood? Why did it drip on her? Why is she okay after the acid blood dripped on her? I have questions that I should not have. So I usually shoot my CP and critique, and I'll be a critique. When you continue in a writing relationship if you dread opening their